Hi everyone, and welcome back to my The Great Ace Attorney's Chronicles Let's Play. I feel like I said that completely wrong, but we're gonna roll with it. So, as you can see, I have a lot of save files. Most of these are just in case I get like audio corruption or something I gotta redo it. Another part over, but we are right here, trial part 3. I'll be shocked if there's a trial part 4, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna be like the last major arc change. For this case, I could be wrong, but I will be, like I said, I will be shocked. I will be shocked. So I want to say that we have Giselle Brett on the ropes. I feel like we do. Right now we have Susato, I believe is her name. Susato Mikatoba. She's the daughter of the other Mikatoba. I forgot his first name for sure. And he sent his daughter to go get some evidence. So I believe she just brought that evidence to us, and hopefully it will be the breakthrough we needed in order to actually make some good strides and good progress in trying to pin Brett down. Okay, so it's the 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court Adjudicature, courtroom number 2. Susato's sleeves are completely long. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less.
Oh, so we're going to touch tone on that as well.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
I know the past was rough for a lot of people. That's for darn well sure.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
He did not swing his gavel down. He did now, though. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful. Oh, she's joining us on this side too. There's 3 of us over here now. Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry, there's no time. Please simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English.
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
I always wanted to say facility. Darn blasting. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before, nor have I. I might be saying that completely wrong, which would not be new for this channel.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just beside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at UMA University. This is why you have to keep up with what people are doing in their spare time. Unknown poison to Japan, but guaranteed known in England or something like that.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
You have had long enough, Consul. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Okay, wait a sec. I need to look at the court record. What am I doing? I asked the prosecution and the defense. Now, one last time. Yeah, he's about to ask that dreadful question. Yeah, we can examine this. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America, actually. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. effects, instant paralysis of the entire body, and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Practical applications: due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. This sounds painful. Why was she researching this? Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however... I don't know. Man, there is no way people spoke like this back in the day. This is too thug-like. I must ask you to treat that as an order. It's almost tea time.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. I've said it many times before. Nobody cares about your feelings, Giselle. I said Gisette. So, Consul, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Yes! Giselle's report that we just got from our darling Sasato. Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMaine University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Consul? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What?
What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done. You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
Order, order, order! Consul, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research students from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
They're hunters. The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Osanaga is great. Trumpery! Oh my goodness. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
The inspector was shocked.
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Consul. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. That is the worst. That is the worst possible death. Like, it reminds me of like Anacondas 2 or something, where the guy was like, I don't know, this is kind of way off topic, but yeah, I remember he got bit by a spider or something. He was just paralyzed, couldn't move at all, and the snake ate him or some crap. That reminds me of that. Or this reminds me of that, rather. How terrible. It is terrible. Horrible, really. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? Oh, you suffocate to death. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Oh my god. That is the worst way to go! Oh my, Dr. Wilson, that lady just smirking at him. He's just suffocating to death. Ugh. I know it's a cartoon, but doggone it, my heart. That's hideous! To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. Whew, if she did that to him, she is still a vicious person. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Consul, actually contains this terrifying poison.
This is all very convenient, isn't it? Hitherto unknown poison from which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may, all these facts, you think you're so clever, but you're taught for some... It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime, that really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection! Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
According to you, the great empire of Japan is pretty replaceable for the great empire of England. What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency?
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Oh, heck no. Do not say cheers. I will hate you forever.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, said affair is a farcical comedy. The little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end.
Cheers! She said cheers! I hate you forever!
Wait! What are you doing?
No sparkle left after all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
That proves nothing. It says something about wounds and crap. I can't really recall off top of my head. But that's why they're laced on arrows, because once you actually inflict a wound with an arrow, it's going into the bloodstream.
Goodness. Whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned.
That's all she was hoping for. Hold up, I'm going back into the court record. I have to check the notes again myself, because I just read this. The above mentioned facts occur when the poison is by through a wound. Yeah, see, it was like through a wound. Yeah, I think this part matters. And of course, since this is her research, she knows about that. So, no curare. Oh, it's adding up. But the doctor, he just went to the dentist. That's why it would affect him. His mouth had just undergone surgery. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simplest truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Ryunosuke over here breaking down. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, it's a little Far Eastern charade.
Or charade in the way she'll probably say it.
Would make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have kneeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection! Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
No.
After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Sasato's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
Okay, let me double check which one that was, because I don't remember. Synopsis. No, the special characteristics is what we're looking for. Thought so. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe anyway, yes?
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. Oh, he's actually going a way that differs a little bit from what I was thinking. But yeah, if they're going to eat it, then they're not going to die from the curare that they poisoned the animal with. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there will be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat?
Yes, good point.
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, counsel. No, that would be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense.
Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me though. Quiet. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. He is so smart! It's adorable. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Oh! Rapscallion!
Well, Ryanosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
I'm starting to see that. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Attention!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has its fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
Gastric suckers. So if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Now she's just sticking her own foot up the arse. Like, come on. Ah! That's right! Where's your composure at, sir? This is good for you, right? Not. We all know the truth there.
Good gracious.
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand. No?
Order! Order in court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this curare poison is indeed irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you can understand something as simple as that. Calm down.
What is this welling up inside of me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like, and more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh, I guess he's the curare poison now.
Ah! I used an injection, Nightcast!
Oh my god! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett!
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Oh my gosh. I can't help it. This is why I love this game series so much. It's just so good.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare?
Come on, the medical report card. Take that. He's saying, I don't remember what he said there, but take that was not what he used to say. Oh my gosh, the evolution.
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference?
Yes.
The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this whole... Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Is she taking off?
You see, you leave vital evidence lying around. You never know what might happen to it.
Oh, I thought she was busting a move.
No!
If anything, this proves that obviously something amiss was afoot. This proves it. If she's trying to get rid of evidence of any sort, that means that it goes against her, oh my god.
I mean, it could just slip.
Oh dear. How careless of me. This proves everything. We don't even need to examine that evidence anymore. Arrest her immediately.
I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! What is it? What just happened? I see the English woman. She just smashed the bottle. And then the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully.
If this does not incriminate her more than any freaking analysis that would.
You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in a bottle, or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photograph print, I presume, dear lady?
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it?
I honestly forgot that he got shot. Now that I think about it, I feel like there is too little blood now.
The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No! You killed the victim that day, using karare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her. But now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt, every color.
Oh! That's not steak juice.
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer?
This part feels a little, like, okay, she broke the bottle, so now we gotta just pull something in order to, like, bring this case around towards what we really need to happen.
Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving to the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. I mean, he was in charge of holding it, so yeah. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory? Please, you have to tell me.
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. and I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett!
I beg your pardon.
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered, seen?
Hold it!
I mean, I was kind of feeling like that too at first. But he has been saying that something has been niggling him. Oh, she's petting her face with a cloth now. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Alright, do your thing, Hosanaga. Do your thing. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. This guy is crazy. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Oh my God. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! My career! Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood man! Show the court! The blood man. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Nope, it's not on there. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! So it was... I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. Yeah, this is clean. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Oh my gosh.
Tis, I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the empire.
The case of the disgrace, that's crazy. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's all over.
Jeez.
We had her on the ropes! Ha! This is sorry-looking steak reveals the fact all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. The meal Miss Brett ordered for lunch, it was removed from the victim's table after the incident. What's the plate I saw? I thought I saw. Just a figment of my imagination? I kinda just said that. This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Okay. Wait a Huh? What in the world is this? A gold coin. I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoi era, I believe.
It's the coin the old man lost. Something with his name started with a K. That guy. What would it be doing under a piece of steak?
Oh, I'm so lost now.
No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? The old man lost it. He was looking on the floor for it.
Wait, did you say it was a Hoi Koban? Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it is very valuable. This is the first time today there's been talk about Hoi Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion before bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary though. This means... Wow! I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat, nor did I. And it's from the Hoi era too. That would make it really quite valuable.
How did it end up there?
It's well marinated in juices as well, look. What, are you thinking of eating it?
No.
But the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, wrong things for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Huh. Let me check the bottom and stuff. Okay. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue, but...
Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The shocking truth.
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence.
I love this judge. He's awesome.
I will not give a ruling until I am completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
You're honorable, Your Excellency. He must be the reason why your honor became so staple. I see. A sincerely affirmed ally of my country. That's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show to the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue found?
Under the steak itself.
Huh? What the?
We already did this. Yeah, I already read this. But what's it doing there? I guess I didn't have to examine it because I feel like I need the coin itself. So, yeah, it's covered in meat juices, but it's valuable. This isn't the first time today I've heard of this. And you're not going to hear it again. This is extraordinary. Alright.
Got it!
Got it! Good. Good gracious, that's...
Koban? What on earth?
a Hoi era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up! What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Oh, he has things to say. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to this case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. Let's not do that. He's right though. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Consul. A rare Holy Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now. You're not a lawyer.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban that was found under the beefsteak is... Okay, since I can actually review everyone, I'm doing that right now. The Judicial Assistant of Defense Lawyer Kazumosogi. So she's a Kazuma person. A British exchange student who was studying under the victim at Yume University. Yeah, she was a medical student underneath the doctor. She's 24. How horrible. So he's 67, 38. Yeah, we get it. So he's 23. But okay, so the owner of that coin is obviously... Wait, where is he? Right here.
Take that!
Curio. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasutai, Kairio Korikuta-san.
Curie? Is it Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened, at exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Holy Era Koban, my prized coin.
Then this Holy Era Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No. Please, why would Korikuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and his plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korikuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I don't want to say that they're playing the wrong game, but they're playing the wrong game. This is where the action is. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. Well, actually, I knew that. I kind of just forgot about the coin and everything. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. And I feel like this is a great space to stop. Right before we actually get to our two fine gentlemen that started us all off, we're going to wind up having to stop right here. This case, oh my gosh. She broke the bottle to clear them from ever being able to analyze like the poison traces, even with like Great Britain standard stuff. So now we have to rely on this blood stain that Ryanosuke saw, but it wasn't on the beefsteak, but the Koban coin was underneath the beefsteak. There's just so much going on. But hopefully, I want to say that the next episode should be the one that wraps up everything in a tight little bow. Like it has to. We have to be like super hot right now with, getting to the end of all this. All the pieces are coming together. As much as you try to hide what you're doing, Giselle, you can't hide forever. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed this series just as much as I'm enjoying playing it. It's so fun. I hope you all are literally like buying this game. Like, let Capcom know that we do want Ace Attorney games here over in the Western areas, because I
love Ace Attorney. I hated that Investigations 2 wasn't translated because they didn't think that it was enough interest for this series. So, yes, if you are a true Ace Attorney fan too, please go out and support this series because I want more content, and I'm pretty sure they will wind up making another Ace Attorney, and I would love if they also release that physically because I got this physically too. But anyways, with all that said and done, we will continue this in the next episode, and I just want to wish you all a great and wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching and supporting me. Bye!